up, and we pressured him in every inning. So hopefully that pays dividends as we go along here.
Thank you very much for spending the time. Good luck the rest of the ball game.
Thanks.
As Will Gasparino, a leadoff bunt, base hit. The Longhorns have their first leadoff base runner of an inning.
All right, Texas playing a little bit of small ball from a large human. Gasparino, 6'6", laying that bunt down and getting down the line.
Well, we were around the cage today, and I was talking to him, and you looked at me because you're a big man. He's a big man.
He is a big dude, 6'6", and boy, he can cover some ground in the outfield too. It looks like he's not running fast, but the strides are so long, he is actually moving better than you think he is.
Yeah, he's growing up as a player. Ooh, almost got picked off right there.
Yeah, Cade Anderson, pretty good fielding pitcher and a really good pickoff move too.
Well, when you're 6'6" and you get it going, he's covering about 5.5 foot with each stride.
What was that, about 5 strides, and he was covered at 90 feet.
Farmer steps in, hammers this ball to left, but right at the left fielder. Ariel makes the play. And like we said, when it gets dark here in Austin, a lot of times the wind settles, and it has settled. Earlier in the game, that ball would have carried.
Yeah, maybe the hardest hit ball of the night so far. Unfortunately for the Horns, hit it directly to the left fielder, Curiel, who collects it for the first out here in the bottom of the third.
So we're back to the top of the order. Mendoza will step in. Popped out his first time up. Exit velocity 108 that time.
You got to put that in perspective. In the big leagues, anything that's hit 95 miles an hour or harder is considered a hard hit ball. That one, 108 off the bat.
Well, that's something we're going to have to adjust to in college baseball. But that's your and our opinion. But I think we're going to have to do something because we're seeing a lot of balls exit.
No, and look, to your point, it's alarming. And everybody's thinks it's fun, and it is, until your son's out there on that bump and you got balls whizzing by him at 108 and 110, and the exit velocity. I've always said this is, and I love to see the ball fly out of the ballpark. I do. I think homers are one of the most exciting things in the game. However, I think we've gotten to a point where exit velocities are a little bit alarming right now.
It is to me.
Anytime we start creating more exit velocity than what the biggest, stronger guys in all of the world can do, and that's major league hitters, when you're exceeding that, and that's what we're doing now at the collegiate level, I think it needs to be dialed back. Now, I don't want to dial it back to where we dialed it back in 2012, where the offense was almost non-existent. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we got to quiet down the exit velos just a tick.
Just misses outside. And I think that the bat companies have done a pretty good job of getting that level. We may have to look at the baseball.
Talking to more and more people, and look, this is about the 3.5 years of record home runs. I mean, the average SEC hitter in today's game is hitting 306. That's the average hitter, what he hits right now.
He just takes that heater, fooled him on the inside corner for the forced strikeout.
That's a little paint piece right there, and well done by Cade Anderson. Luis Hernandez, the catcher from LSU, just kind of rocked gently to the inside part of the plate, exactly where it was delivered. So 4th strikeout of the day for Cade Anderson.
I love his mound presence. You told me he was. He looks like he's out there having fun, relaxed, flipping the ball around a little bit. He's not being coy. He's just very relaxed on the mound.
He's very confident in his abilities and what he can do. And that's what Jay Johnson loves, because Jay Johnson has some choices for Friday night. You got Chase Shores, who pitches game 3. You got Ianson, who had a big year last year, transferred into LSU. Could have gone with any of those couple of guys, but chose Anderson mainly because of what you're mentioning, his demeanor on the mound. Like, you never know if he's having a good game or a bad game, just kind of even keeled.
Throw over. Gasparino back in safely. Yeah, I'm impressed watching him.
Both of these pitchers,
he's got a rhythm.
Yeah.
And he stays in his rhythm.
Both of these pitchers are on their game. This is what you hope you see on Friday nights in the SEC.
Popped up, back behind home plate. It'll make its way into the stands. Somebody gets an effort to get a souvenir. And Ballou down 0-2.
Just don't drop your adult beverage.
Well, yes, and not on me, please. Ballou steps back in 0-2. Throw over, Gasparino back safely.
Well, Ballou hit a big homer last week at Mississippi State, late in the ball game to win it. It was his 4th long ball of the year. Now, 18 of them last year, and you mentioned it earlier. Big 12 Player of the Year last year.
Well, he's a big, physical, good left-handed hitter. It's been hits-wise, it's been good. It just hasn't got hot yet. He hustles to first base and beats that out. Gets a base hit through the shift. That was a nice job diving. Dickinson dives to his left. Jones dives to his right.
Yeah, this was a good play all the way around right there. Jones just missed it. He has to quickly get up because Dickinson had a chance. A little bit of a fumble right there. That'll go down to base hit, so a 2-for-2 night for Blue.
An opportunity now for Texas. Gets their first runner into scoring position on the night. That'll prompt a visit. So many times, Ben, I always tell this people that as an ex-catcher going out, sometimes you go out to the mound, sometimes it's cardiovascular. You say, hey, all right, look, you've been out here, first time in this situation, let's take a breath. And there's really not a lot's being talked about out there.
Right, not so much mechanics because Cade Anderson is pitching a really good ball game at this point. And I agree, sometimes just want to go out there and slow the heartbeat down a little bit, maybe get him focused again, maybe go over the scout report really quickly and let him go to work.
I used to tell people all the time, breathe, just breathe for me.
Well, that's what we fight as pitchers when we get ourselves in big moments. The game tends to speed up like it does, and you tend to fight yourself and you want to speed up a little bit more.
Well, I think sometimes at 12 inches, something happens to the oxygen up there. Set to go now as Flores steps in. Anderson.
Flores didn't hit it hard, but he hit it in the right spot. Looked like a first pitch changeup, and he kind of got it right off the end of the bat. But tomorrow morning, it's going to look like a line drive in the scorebook. Just kind of goes down and sticks his nose on this. Watch this ball. Right off the end of the bat, but shoves it out in left field right in front of Curiel. And the Horns on the scoreboard first.
Yeah, nothing Curiel could do there. You know, the ball's just not hit with any velocity, so it's hard to throw anybody out the plate. So Longhorns take advantage of their first base runner in score position and jump out 1-0 as Galvan steps in. Changeup had him way out in front for strike one. Galvan with great power the other way. He's quickly down.
Boy, you talk about a tough combination. You get 83 changeup first pitch, and then he comes back with 95. So 12-mile-an-hour difference between those two pitches, and that's tough for a hitter to adjust to. And not only was it 95, it was perfectly placed on the inside part of the plate.
Yeah, this tied him up. Couldn't get extended. The 0-2. Upstairs. An offensive timeout by Jim Schlossnagle, who we will visit with in the top of the 4th inning. You get 3 a ball game offensively. In his first year as a head coach. Visit with us. Now set to go again. With an 1-2 count here. Got him. Texas gets on the board.
Let's hook him.
We go to the top of the 4th as Spencer back out there. I don't think we've seen a better environment here at the dish in a long time. We have a pinch hitter coming to the plate. No, I think it's Josh Pearson.
It's still Pearson.
Yeah. First pitch upstairs for ball 1. Singled up the middle his first time up. Lefty-lefty matchup here. 61st pitch for the Texas left-hander. Downstairs with a changeup. And it's 2-0. 73 degrees, gorgeous night. Not much breeze now. Fastball misses in. Three and oh now. Pearson steps back in. That pitch is upstairs and a 4-pitch walk. So the Tigers, Ben, had the leadoff runner in 3 out of 4 innings on base. Eventually that'll catch up to you.
Well, I mean, if you look at the averages, I mean, anytime a leadoff batter of an inning gets on it, he scores right about 50, a little bit over 50% of the time. But I tell you what, Jared Spencer, when he's needed to, he's been really, really big. LSU's had 5 opportunities with runners in scoring position. They are 0 for 5 at this point.
Set as Hernandez steps in. Bunted in this scenario his last time up. Pulls the bat back. That pitch misses downstairs. 5 in a row missed by Spencer here in the top of the 4th when he's been staked to a lead.
Yeah, we always talk about, and maybe we use the term shutdown inning a little bit too much, but anytime your team goes out and gives you the lead, so important to stack a 0 the next time out.
That fastball in there for a strike, and the count evens at 1-1. Borba up at third, double play depth in the middle of the infield. Throw over. That throw almost, nice play by Schussler.
Yeah, Schussler's made a couple of really nice defensive plays so far.
Welcome to Austin, Texas, after the walk-off by the Wildcats of Kentucky. Keith Moreland, Ben McDonald from UFCU Dish Falk Field in Austin, Texas. We play in the top of the 4th inning. Texas just got on the board with an RBI single from Jalen Flores in the bottom of the 3rd. Now, leadoff walk and a 1-2 count. Glad you're with us. We'll catch you up to snuff here shortly.
Boy, the cut fastball, trying to get on the inside part of the plate. But you see this ball is elevated just enough, and Hernandez does a really good job getting those hands in tight to the body. The left fielder Farmer going back, and he just runs out of room on that 2-run homer.
What an answer by the Tigers. Leadoff walk and a 2-run shot. Still nobody out here in the top of the 4th. Pitch in there for a strike. What a difference 2 pitches or 3 pitches make in a ball game. See where we're at right now. This is a game summary. Both starting pitchers have been really good until we got to this 4th inning. Texas scored 1 in the bottom of the 3rd on a 2-out base hit by Jalen Flores, and then the 2-run shot. And now the Tigers with a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, LSU's had traffic in every inning. 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Wow, really good changeup, pulls the string to Spencer.
70th pitch to the ball game by the Texas left-hander.
And what makes the changeup so good, Keith, and you know this, is he uses that cutter to Spencer to the inside part of the plate to the right-hander. So he speeds those bats up, and he gets them cheating to that ball on the inside part of the plate. Then he pulls the string with that changeup, and that's a really good combination.
Comes back, gets the strikeout. That is the 6th of the ball game for Jared Spencer.
He is racking them up, and he can do that. Came in with 36 strikeouts in 26 2/3. That's that bullet spin slider of his. And again, we're going to hear us talk a lot about that slider of his. Loves it to the inside part of the plate. It's not a traditional shape to that slider. It's got more vertical and more downward action in it. It's not like a traditional slider.
Senfield will step in. Strikeout victim his first time up. First pitch in there for a strike. See the numbers on the year for Chris as he steps back in. Chopped on the ground to Borba. Across to Schussler for the 2nd out of the inning. Back to the top of the order. There haven't been a lot of quick innings. Spencer now trailing 2-1, but you know, You got 6 strikeouts. First of all, strikeouts run your pitch count up, Ben.
Yes.
And then you throw in there with it. The other thing he's got 4 walks under his belt as well.
Right. And you're facing a team that takes a lot of pitches at LSU. They're going to make you throw strikes. One of the best teams in the country when you talk about runs per game, on base percentage, very high walk total. They don't strike out a ton, although they have so far tonight. There's your K's, 6 of them.
The 1-0. This ball, nice piece of hitting going the other way. Curiel, this is going to be tough. He's headed to second with an opposite field sliding double. Love his approach at the plate.
That is Derek Curiel at his best, and that's what he does as a true freshman. You don't see many true freshmen walk on campus in big-time college baseball and play, much less go to the leadoff spot, but that's what makes him special right there, the ability to spray the ball all around the field. You pitch him away, he's going to hit it that way. You try to get on the inside part of the plate, he's quick enough to pull the ball and get the barrel of the bat to it as well.
Yeah, just left home plate thinking too. That's the other thing I like. I like this style when he left home plate.
With 2 out, he's thinking, I got to get in the scoring position.
Jones will step in. He's 1 for 2. Runner in scoring position here.
Now you got first base open in this situation. You got LSU's best power hitter at the plate. So we'll see how Spencer attacks him.
95 was the first one. That's how he went.
That's a pretty good start. 95 up and in. See the numbers on the year for Jared Jones. Batting average at .425. A little bit slow start with the long ball. He only had 2 homers in his first 13 games, but he's hit 6 home runs in his last 9. It's a smoke show right now. Both fastballs, one at 95, one at 96, both painted perfectly on the inside part of the plate. Well, the changeup could be a good pitch right here if he can get it down and away and out of the strike zone.
Because you got to be sort of thinking about getting to that fastball. Tried to climb the ladder.
Boy, 97, huh? Still a bunch left in the tank for Jared Spencer. In his 4th season, we mentioned it early, had a really good year. He transferred from Indiana State last year, was undefeated last year, went 6-0.
The 1-2. Nice block by Galvan. Evens the count now at 2-2. Now you look at a guy that has got 50 homers in his career as a Tiger. Those are some pretty impressive numbers to do it in 143 games.
Yeah.
The 2-2. Got him with the strike rate. But the Tigers take the lead, Ben. Tigers in the first ever SEC conference baseball game at the Dish as Adrian Rodriguez, the freshman, will step in, switch hitter from the right side.
Number 2 LSU versus number 8 Texas. Boy, both of these teams off to fast starts. Texas 17-2. The only 2 games they lost have been both in extra innings. And LSU currently riding the best winning streak in college baseball. They've won 16 in a row. Boy, you're talking about 2 of the blue blood programs. Of course, LSU 7 national titles. That's the 2nd most ever. Texas, the 3rd most national titles at 6. And look at the trips to Omaha for the Horns. 38 of them.
It's lots of opportunities. Both these teams have been, to go back to the legendary coaches, just, my gosh, these 2 programs have been the elite of college baseball. 2-2 to Rodriguez. Back up the middle. Nice play by Anderson. Underhands to first base. Takes a base hit away from Rodriguez. That was a really nice defensive play by Anderson.
Yeah, not much Kate Anderson can't do on the bump. He feels his position very well. And this is a ball that hops up off the turf. And boy, how about that? Reaching back on the backhand side, well above his head to collect the out. A little underhand toss over to Jared Jones.
Gets that leadoff out. Schuster will step in. Popped up his first time up. Squares to drag bunt. Called Braswell back. Pulled the bat back. Pitch was upstairs.
Yeah, Texas going back to the the rivalry in these two programs. Texas was on the national scene well before LSU was. Then a guy by the name of Skip Bertman made his way to LSU, and that's when the national title started to come. 5 of them in 10 years.
That's impressive.
There's the 6 national titles for the Horns. Speaking of Skip Bertman, and I know I said it, me and you were visiting about this.
Well,
our thoughts and prayers with Coach Bertman. His wife just passed away a few days ago and had the funeral the other day, and I went to the funeral. But just want to let Skip know that I not only speak for me, but all the college baseball world. Our thoughts and prayers are with Coach Bertman and his family during a very, very tough time. Him and his wife, Sandy, were married for 63 wonderful years.
Good breaking ball down under the hands.
Well, both of these pitchers have done a good job. When the hitters have gotten them in some plus counts, some hitting counts, both of these pitchers have been able to land something other than a breaking ball or other than a fastball.
Downstairs, and the count goes full. '63rd pitch of the night for the Tiger left-hander. Rifled up the middle. Nice play to his right. Nice play. Dickinson right there. Field your position. Get an out.
Now the LSU defense, and we talked about it earlier, I mean, come in field in 981. And a big reason why is you got 3 shortstops playing the infield position. Dickinson played a little bit of shortstop in his college career. Of course, Braswell's over at third. He played some shortstop last year for LSU. He was the everyday. And of course, you see how much better LSU has been this year defensively than what they were last year.
Well, if you make a pitch, you want to get those outs. Borba will step in. First pitch in there for a strike. And Anderson really starting to settle in. This will be his 65th pitch. I mean, he's right on time. About 15 pitches an inning is where you want to be.
He kind of did this against Missouri last week and gave up, 3 runs early in the ball game and then really settled in and retired 17 of the final 20 hitters that he saw.
Well, they always talk about hitters becoming comfortable. I think pitchers have got to become comfortable in the game.
It's about getting in a rhythm, and what you have when you start the game doesn't necessarily what you're going to end the game with, I mean, sometimes when the breaking ball, the changeup struggling, all of a sudden you'll start to see it come in the 3rd or the 4th inning. But both of these guys have really been pretty well on point since the very first pitch.
Well, I've warmed a lot of people up as a catcher and then take them to the game, and I thought when I left the bullpen with them, oh, Lord, this is going to be a long night. And then they get to the mound, and all of a sudden something changed.
I always say, what you have in the bullpen means absolutely nothing when you step on that game mound, because you cannot create that adrenaline flow in the bullpen what you get when you step on the game mound. And there was times, Keith, that I left that bullpen going, they're in trouble tonight. And all of a sudden I'm in the shower in the 4th inning, and there was times I left that bullpen going, I got nothing. Like, I got absolutely nothing tonight. And you turn around, you're in the ball game in the 7th inning, in a 2-run ball game. So bullpen, what I learned about the warm-up is it is strictly a bullpen warm-up. And then you're going to get a feel for what you have when you step on the game mound. And it's up to you to be able to adjust from there. We got a football.
Well, do a little tossing in the bullpen. Speaking of, the Blue go to the top of the 5th, and a good one here. Keith Moreland, Ben McDonald from Dish Falk Field in Austin. Dickinson will step in. Meat of the order coming here. 3, 4, 5, 2 for the Tigers. The 0-1 downstairs. Now, been in a lot of ball games in your career as a pitcher. You get to the 5th inning, your pitch counts up a little bit. You're very much in the game. You've had one mistake in the game. You trail 2-1. Are you looking at pitch counts, or are you just giving everything you got until they come get you?
No, I'm not looking at pitch count, because pitch count doesn't matter to me. I'm going to be who I am. I'm going to be wide open, because I know every pitch that comes out of my hand can mean the ball game in this one, right? And so you're just going to give everything you got until they come get you out of the ball game. I mean, you'd love to have a quick 1, 2, 3, and that's really what Jared Spencer needs. He needs a couple ground balls and a fly ball to keep that pitch count down a little bit. We talked about his last time out. He threw a career high 92 pitches his last time out.
Made a mistake, left that ball up, and boy, did a nice job getting on top of it with a 1-2 count and another leadoff base runner. That is, they've done an outstanding job tonight, have the Tigers, of getting that leadoff runner on base.
Was it 4 out of 5 innings? Leadoff runner has reached for LSU. And it has been constant traffic against Jarrett Spencer. LSU has threatened, but they're 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position.
And those become stressful pitches because you're in the stretch. Fry steps in, 0 for 1 in this one. He has walked and grounded to third.
Yeah, and this is where it starts to get a little bit more difficult. You start going through that lineup for the third time. They've kind of seen everything you got. Now, Jarrett Spencer has pitched a little bit differently for me than what he has all year long. He's using that changeup, Keith, a lot more tonight than what he typically does. Typically, that changeup is only used about 10% of the time, but it feels like it's closer to 15, maybe 20% tonight.
Oh, I would agree. I think I've seen him throw quite a few ball games, and this is the most he's ever used it.
I'll tell you what, he's still got his velo 86 pitches in, though. He's been up to 97 2 or 3 times, that one at 95.
Texas bullpen may be starting to stir now. The 0-2 just gets a piece of it, keeps you at bat alive.
Another good changeup down and away. That's kind of the new pitch for Jarrett Spencer. Last year it was pretty much fastball, breaking ball, but developed a changeup. Why? Because he wanted to be a starter. And he knew to be a starter, I've got to have at least a 3-pitch mix. So he developed that changeup, and it's been a good one.
Set again. The 0-2 to Fry. Laced into left field. Back-to-back base hits. And a big start for the Tigers.
Yeah, nothing cheap about those two. Both Dickerson and Fry have found the barrel, so first and second, and nobody out for the Tigers here in the top of the 5th. Watch this swing right here. That's kind of cheating and looking for that little cutter, that hard slide on the inside part of the plate. You see Fry kind of clears the front side and finds the barrel.
The freshman Jaden Duplantier was up throwing, and also Dylan Fuentes, the freshman.
This could be
tossing.
We'll see if this is a bunt situation. Yeah.
Out in front of the plate, and a good one. Has to go to first. Can he get an out? Yes, he can, just by a half a step. But the sacrifice works perfectly.
Well, that was a really good play by Jarrett Spencer, because this ball's got a little backspin to it. Watch it kind of sit like a wedge on the green right there, but Spencer gets to it and fires a dart over the first base, and I mean just by a toenail he gets Milo.
Well, this may be reviewed.
Now looking at it live, I thought the throw beat him. I thought he was out.
But it was very close.
That ball kind of backed up on Spencer, but he did a good job of getting to it.
That's a big call in this game.
Yeah, this is huge. 1 out, second and third, or bases loaded and nobody out. You make the call at home. Out or safe? Oh, he's out. He is out.
Ball beating. Mendoza was on the bag. Here comes the call.
After further review, the ruling of out at first base, the runner is out. LSU will be charged with 1 challenge. They have 1 remaining.
See the review from a different angle. It definitely got him by a half a step, and Mendoza's foot was on the bag.
Yes. I'd like to see Mendoza get that foot of his maybe to the front part of the bag, to the corner to receive that ball.
I'm not big on this extra bag, but that's just, I'm old school, you know. We used to run to one base. We were doing it for 140 years, you know.
Oh, the game's changed.
Yes, it does. Infield drawn up for Texas. A huge moment here in this ball game. Pearson steps in and hammers it to right with some carry. Ballou runs it down, but tagging at third and coming in to score. 3-1 LSU.
And again, this is kind of what's different for LSU's offense than what it's been really the last couple of years. You get a sack bunt and a sacrifice fly. So situational hitting, small ball for LSU this year. They've done it a little bit different way. And again, you're talking about the number 3 offense in the entire country. LSU came in averaging 10.4 runs per game. And not so much with the long ball. They do a lot of hitting and running, a lot of sacrifice bunts, a little bit different than what they typically do, and they find a way to pressure you 1 through 9.
Well, the back-to-back leadoff base hits here, both of them were stung, Ben, as you mentioned. Start the inning, and like you said, the sacrifice and then the sacrifice fly, and that'll prompt a visit here. Pitch count at 90 in the ball game. Andre Duplantier warming in the Texas bullpen.
Yeah, Spencer, his last time out against Mississippi State last Friday night, it was a season high for him, a season high 91 pitches. See where he's at right now at 90. But as you mentioned, anytime you get 7 strikeouts, you add 3 walks to it and a hit by pitch, that's going to push the pitch count up a little bit. This is what Luis Hernandez did his last time out. Just pulls those hands in, and he hit third home run of the season. His 10th RBI. Of course, Texas got out first, and LSU with a 2-run shot to take the lead. Now up 3-1.
Sacrifice bunt his first time out, and Ben just told you the 2-run shot last time. First pitch changeup. Swing and a miss for strike one.
And if you missed it earlier, these two guys were teammates last year at Indiana State, both Jared Spencer and Luis Hernandez. When you talk about Indiana State, that's kind of a sleeper mid-major. They've been in a super regional and a regional each of the last 2 years. Very good brand of baseball.
The 1-1.
He had a big year at Indiana State last year, did Luis Hernandez. 23 long balls. He just gets a ball just kind of down in the zone, just sticks his nose on it and powers it right past third baseman Borba.
Spencer at a career high at Texas. Now in pitches with 93, but trails here 4-1.
And first hit of the night for LSU with a runner in scoring position.
Aswell fouls this ball off. So 7 hits now for the Tigers. Back-to-back innings with 2 spots and lead 4-1. The 0-1. Catches the top part of the zone, and it's quickly 0-2. I will give credit for Spencer. He's been rocked around a little bit here. He's still attacking.
No, he is. He's still aggressive in the zone. He's carrying his velo. I love his stuff. Like, he's got really good stuff.
The 0-2 by LSU. They put a 2 spot on the board. They lead here 4-1 halfway home. First time ever this crowd knows what the SEC is like, and to have an SEC home game, because this is every week.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Schlossnagle knows all about it, right, coming from Texas A&M, so he knows how tough it is. But the SEC's a gauntlet. We talked about it. There's 12 teams in the SEC ranked in this week's poll, and, you know, the top 4 are all SEC teams, and 1 through 4 in college baseball. And so this is fun. I mean, this is a super regional type environment. And Texas has kind of had its way with LSU here at Disch Falk Field. You go back and over the history of it, I think Texas is 17-3 versus LSU here at Disch Falk Field right now. So it's not been an easy place. It's not an easy place for opponents to come here and win.
Well, you look at it, the facility opened in 1975 for those that are just learning about Texas and the SEC. This building, again, opened in 75. We won the national championship that season. And since then, they've won about 78% of the games they ever played in this ballpark.
That's pretty good. That is pretty good. What is it, 38 trips for Texas to the College World Series. By far #1 in all of college baseball. 6 national titles.
1-1 to Farmer, chop foul.
I remember the last time I was here, that was in 2019 for a 3-game series, and I sat in between you and Greg Swindell. And Texas just beat the brakes off LSU. And I was sitting looking at this pole right here, trying to look around it. Y'all had me in the middle. And, of course, a cool front blew in. And
no, it wasn't cool. It was cold.
Or a cold front, I should say. And it wasn't supposed to happen that way. And I was begging you for a jacket. And you passed up 5 black jackets, 3 blue ones, and 6 green ones to give me a burnt orange jacket. I had to sit up here with a burnt.
Feel at home.
Oh, yeah. You guys made me feel at home. Just ribbing me the whole time.
We wanted to make you feel at home, Ben.
Y'all did that.
Well,
the company was good. The baseball for LSU wasn't that good that weekend, but the company was outstanding.
Farmer comes up First time we've seen a ball up in the zone in a while from Anderson. That comes off the bat at 102 miles an hour.
Yeah,
Farmer.
I tell you what, Farmer's barreled it up twice. Remember, he lined out hard to Derek Curiel. His first at bat, just a bullet right to him, and that ball was struck well as well. You know, when you talk about Farmer, you think a lot about defense. He is an elite defender in the outfield. The bat a little bit behind that. He came in hitting 259, but you talk to Jim Schlossnagle, he thinks that Farmer is going to have a big, big season. We're about a third of the way through the season, but he thinks the last two-thirds could be a big offensive explosion for Farmer.
Well, we've seen him get more consistent offensively over the last, I would say, 8 to 10 ball games for Texas. And Mendoza into right center. Nice job. Great jump. Sanfield to come up with that play, and that's the other thing too. Great outfield defense. You see balls leave bats, and you think, "Ooh, that's got a chance."
Yeah.
Great outfielders run them down.
Well, Stanfield can pick them up and put them down. Of course, he's a transfer from the University of Auburn, and you know the bat for him was a little bit behind. The defense was outstanding, but Jay Johnson's worked really, really hard for him. You see the wind starting to lay down. Early in this ball game, wind was pushing out really hard toward left center field, starting to lay down a little bit.
Ballou will step in.
Yeah, 2-for-2 night for him.
First pitch swinging at a breaking ball. Sometimes I love when pitchers think, you know what? I know he's going to be thinking I'm going to come right at him. Let me throw him a little spinner and get him way out in front. Now, as a hitter, I'm off balance the rest of the at-bat.
Yeah, you're not. And look, it was tough off both these starting pitchers tonight because they mixed it really, really well. They showed above-average fastballs so far, velocity. The command was good, but they also pitched backwards from time to time when they needed to, too. They were able to throw something other than a fastball when they did get behind in the count.
So Ballou down 0-2 as he steps in. Farmer from first base. It's upstairs. Still 94 on that fastball, and the 80th pitch of the game coming from the Tiger left-hander. Shift on in the infield for Ballou as he's at the plate. Braswell moves over to short. He is a shortstop by nature, so he can play there. Everybody moves over. The 1-2. Got him. The strikeout, the 7th of the ball game.
He showed 12 punch-outs, only 3 walks. Yeah, he's going to show you a little bit different look. Low 3/4 arm slot. Don't throw a lot of sinking fastballs. That slider, more of a sweeping slider and a cutter to go with it.
And he'll face the 9, 1, and 2 spots. Tigers lead here 4-1, 4-7-0 for LSU, 1-5-0 for Texas. Tigers have scored 4 unanswered after the Longhorns took a 1-0 lead. First pitch in there for a strike to Sanfield. This ball hit well to center. Gasparino back, puts it away. Stanford put a charge in that one.
See what LSU's done. They're averaging a little over 7 runs per game in innings 1 through 5. And what does that mean? Well, that's big for your pitchers, right? Anytime you can get some early run support, nothing relaxes you more as a starting pitcher to know your team's going to go out and put some runs on the scoreboard early. And that's kind of what LSU's been able to do so far this year. And the offense has come a long way. We talked about it early. LSU finished last year 111th out of 300 teams in Division I baseball when it comes to runs per game. But this year, sitting at number 3.
I like their style. I mean, the style is, hey, we're going to give we're going to try to get a leadoff guy on. If we want to bunt him up, we'll bunt him up. They've done everything they want. Get him over, get him in, play the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, that's what Jay Johnson has this year. And you couldn't say that last year. You got down to 7, 8, 9 hole last year for LSU, and it wasn't a lot of production. But this year it's been a little bit different so far.
Plantier with a backdoor breaking ball. Quickly out in front. Tiger leadoff hitter steps back in. How about that? Did that hit him in the back foot?
Looked like another 0-2 count, another hit, yeah. It looked like Curiel, he's squaring around a bunt potentially on 0-2. He gets his slider, just kind of cooks it down and in, and watch it gets right off the toe, the front toe, the back toe rather, of Curiel.
That's that cutter. Don't see many guys try to bunt their way on 0-2.
Not 0-2, not with 2 strikes. But that's what Derek Curiel does. He finds a way to get on base. 3 out of his 4 at-bats he's been on.
Well, it caught him off. He's pointing at his knee. I thought it caught his toe like you were talking about. Maybe off the left. Tell you what, those are pretty impressive right there.
Yeah, D1 Baseball named him preseason SEC Freshman of the Year, and they've been spot on so far. Came in hitting .434, leading the conference in walks, high on-base percentage. And it's very rare you get a true freshman that comes into the SEC that, one, even gets a lot of playing time, but even rarer to have a guy go right to the top of your lineup. But Derek Curiel has been that good. And I remember talking to him early in the year, and it's, you know, he reminds me of Alex Bregman. When Bregman stepped on campus for LSU years ago, it wasn't cockiness, it was just confident. I'm confident in what I bring to the table. I'm confident in what I can do. And Curiel reminds me of that. It's like, it's not, I'm not cocky, I'm not trying to do that, but I'm pretty confident in what I can do. And look, he has performed at a very high level for LSU so far.
Well, Ben, the game of baseball is a game of failure. You have to be confident because they put you in the Hall of Fame if you're successful 3 out of 10 times.
That's right. It's the only sport we have, only occupation where you can fail 70% of the time and go into the Hall of Fame. That's maybe that and a weatherman. I feel like the weatherman's wrong more than 70% of the time. And he never gets fired.
This ball skied to right with some carry. Ballou tagging, but not moving up. Ballou's got an outstanding arm. Good throw back in. There's 2 gone in the inning. That ball was up there for a long time. Dickinson steps in. Singled, start off that 5th inning, came in to score. He's walked and struck out. So 1 for 2 as he steps in. Had a good lead, throw over, back in safely.
Yeah, Duplantier is a big guy, and if you watch him when he comes set in that stretch position, he closes off big time, and so it's got to be a little bit difficult for him to see the runner and what kind of lead he has over at first base. See that left foot? He turns it well in. See how he turns his shoulder towards home plate? So he has trouble seeing that run over there. I wouldn't be surprised if Curiel takes a chance to try to get in scoring position.
Ooh, nice play by Schuessler. That ball was ticketed down the right field line. Curiel's getting a huge lead, 2 feet out on past the cutout onto the green turf.
Curiel only has 1 stolen base this year, but he does have above average speed.
This is outside for ball 1. You've got to allow the hitter to be in the box and step up. If you get a warning on the first one, the second one they call a ball on you.
Yep.
The 1-0. Not close, and it's 2-0. Hitters count now.
Yeah, 2 out, 2-0 count. You got to think Duplantier is going to throw a strike here. Dickinson will be swinging. Curiel might be taken off here in this situation. Oh,
2-0. Good location, and it's 2-1. You're not going to do a lot with that pitch. Duplantier comes set. Misses outside. Hitters count now 3-1. big gap on the right-hand side of the infield is semi-shift on by Texas.
Yeah, big gap out in right center field as well.
Misses outside. That's going to put a couple on here. Hit, batter, and a walk. Tigers threatening again here in the top of the 6th. We could have a pinch hitter.
Looks like Jake Brown. It's kind of what we talked about for LSU. And Jay Johnson has about 12 guys in that offense that he really trusts. And he will grab that platoon advantage anytime he gets an opportunity to do so. Of course, Texas started the left-hander Spencer tonight, so Ethan Fry was in there at that DH spot. Now he goes and gets Jake Brown to face the right-hander.
Brown, 6'2", 205-pound sophomore. Suffer, Louisiana, steps in. He's first guy. This is down and away. The sophomore.
Yeah, it's nice when you go to your bench and get a guy that's hitting 397 with a homer and driven in 17 with an OPS over 1,000.
Cutter got in on him just a little bit. The count evens at 1-1. Depth. Matchup allows you to put so much pressure on the pitcher. 1-1.
Yeah, it'll be a lot harder next year in college baseball, going from a 40-man roster to a 34-man roster in D1 baseball. I don't understand that, but that's what we're going to do.
Everybody's on scholarship.
Yeah, if you choose to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, every program doesn't have to fund 34 if they don't want to, but you can if you choose to, if you have the funds to do it. What I worry about with 34, think about this, in fall ball and early spring before the season starts, you can't even have an inter-squad game.
It's hard.
You won't even have enough players to inter-squad with 34 because over half your roster is going to be pitchers. And so it's going to be hard to inter-squad.
The 3-1. Left side, back out of play.
And heaven forbid if you get a rash of pitching injuries or something and you lose 3 or 4 arms, it ain't like you can go to AAA and call somebody up now.
Nope.
You got what you got is 34. That's all you have to work with.
That's exactly right. And then the other part of that, how about the, speaking of?
Yeah. It's not a young team for LSU, but it is certainly a new team. And, of course, it was the #1 freshman class and the #1 overall class when you combine the transfer portal with that freshman class.
Runners are off. 3-2 pitch, fouled away left side. I got a question for you. Does that mean you start recruiting some two-way players?
If you can, it would be valuable. There ain't many Shohei Ohtanis out there.
No, I know that.
But there are some guys, some two-way guys. And look, that's going to be valuable to get those guys. Anytime you can fill 2 needs with 1 roster spot, that's going to be huge.
Runners will be off again, 3-2. Big pitch here. Texas wants to stay in this ball game. 3-2, outside corner, caught the corner for the strikeout and a big one for the Plantier.